My dad worked 40 years, saved everything he could, retired with $190,000. His neighbor worked the same job, same salary, same neighborhood, retired with $1.1 million, same income, same time, completely different outcome. The difference wasn't luck. It wasn't a stock tip. It wasn't even discipline. It was one number when he started. Today, I'm going to show you the exact math behind why. Starting at 25 beats, earning more at 35 every single time. I'll show you the crossover point, the moment your money starts working harder than you do. And I'll show you the one mistake that costs the average American $47,000 without them ever realizing it. Stay through the end because the last number is the one nobody believes until they see it. There's a concept called the crossover. Most financial advisors know it. Almost nobody explains it clearly. We'll get there. There's also a date, a specific Tuesday. I'll come back to that. But first, let's talk about the number that changes everything. $100 a month invested consistently for 30 years becomes $121,000. You put in $36,000. The market gives you back $85,000 on top of that. For every dollar you contributed, the market added $2.36. That's not a theory. That's 7% average annual return, the S&P 500's historical average over any 30-year window since 1950. Now here's where it gets interesting. That same $100 a month started 10 years later gives you $52,000 instead of $121,000. You contributed $12,000 less. You received $69,000 less. The decade cost you more than the money itself. But here's what nobody talks about. The math isn't the hard part. I've met people who knew every compound interest formula and still had nothing at 45 because there's a moment, it happens around month 6, where everything falls apart for most people. The market drops. Your $600 becomes $563, and your brain tells you to get out, to protect what's left. That's your first real test, not of your financial sophistication, of your ability to do nothing when doing nothing feels wrong. J.P. Morgan ran the numbers on every investor between 2003 and 2023. Missing just the 10 best trading days cut returns in half. Most of those 10 days happened in the 2 weeks right after the worst days. The people who sold to wait for stability missed the recovery, while the news still looked terrible, while waiting still felt rational. Your $600 became $563. You did nothing. That was the right answer. Now, I need to tell you something that contradicts everything I just said. The math is not the point. I know. I just spent several minutes showing you the math. Stay with me. Here's what actually changes when you invest your first $100. That Tuesday evening, and yes, we're coming back to that Tuesday, you open a Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab account. It takes 20 minutes. You link your checking account, you set up an automatic transfer of $100 on the first of every month. You pick a total market index fund and you confirm the purchase. Then you close the app. That's it. That's the whole action. The next morning, you wake up and your life looks identical to how it looked the morning before. The coffee tastes the same. The commute takes the same amount of time. The account has $100 in it. But here's what just happened that you can't see yet. Before that Tuesday evening, you were someone who intended to invest someday. After that Tuesday evening, you are someone who invests. Those are not the same person. They notice different things. They ask different questions. They arrive at completely different places 20 years from now. Not because of the $100, but because of the identity shift that $100 initiated. The behavioral research on this is consistent. The single most reliable predictor of continued investment behavior is having started, not the amount, not the return, not the market conditions at the time of the first purchase, just whether the account exists and has money in it. You just cross that threshold and something else starts happening in that first year that doesn't show up in the balance at all. You start noticing things you never noticed before. The expense ratio on the fund in your 401k that's sitting at 1.2% when a comparable option charges 0.03%. The credit card interest rate that's effectively canceling your investment return every month. It carries a balance. The subscription that costs $180 a year for something you use twice. The $100 investment created a financial awareness that expands outward into every other area of your financial life, not because you became more disciplined, but because you became someone who tracks returns, and someone who tracks returns starts seeing costs differently. I'll be honest with you, when I set up my first account, I checked the balance every single day for 3 months, not out of curiosity, out of anxiety. That 2:54 a.m. phone check, screen glowing in the dark, confirming that yes, something was still there. The early years don't quiet that anxiety, but somewhere around year 5, the check changes character. It's no longer panic, it's curiosity. Same hand, same phone, same screen, but checking something that's growing. That shift from checking out of fear to checking out of interest is what $100 a month actually buys. Not in month 1, in year 5. Remember my dad's neighbor? He started at 26. One brokerage account, one index fund, $150 a month. My dad started at 36. A better job by then. $300 a month. My dad contributed more money, more discipline, more sacrifice, and still arrived at less than half. The decade cost more than the contribution. And that Tuesday I mentioned, the neighbor told me it was a Tuesday evening. Took him 20 minutes. He almost didn't do it because it felt too small to matter. Now there's a trap nobody warns you about. Year 5. That's when lifestyle inflation becomes the most dangerous it will ever be. Your income is higher than it was at year 1. The $100 automatic transfer that felt significant when you set it up now feels routine, almost too small to be meaningful. And the voice that says you deserve more, that you've been disciplined long enough, that 1 year of pausing won't matter, that voice is loudest and precisely at the moment when continuity matters most. The person who pauses their transfer at year 5 and resumes at year 8 hasn't lost 3 years of $100 contributions. At 7% annual returns over 30 years, those missed contributions compound into $19,000 lost. Twice over across a lifetime of small pauses, that's $47,000. A pause that felt minor. A $47,000 decision made carelessly. Don't pause it. Now let's extend the numbers. $200 a month for 30 years at 7%, $243,000. $300 a month, $365,000. $500 a month, $608,000. The variable that matters most in every single one of those numbers is not the amount. It's the 30 years. Compounding needs time the way a fire needs oxygen. More of it produces results that scale faster than the input suggests they should. And here's the crossover point I promised you at the start. Around year 12 or 13, at these contribution levels, your annual return exceeds your annual contribution. After that, you could stop contributing entirely, and the account would still grow every year by more than you were putting in. Your money is contributing more than you are. You're no longer the engine, you're the steward. At year 20, $24,000 invested. Balance, approximately $52,000. The market generated more than your total contributions across 2 decades. At year 30, $36,000 invested. Balance, approximately $121,000. The market generated $85,000. You generated $36,000. For every dollar you put in, the market put in $2.36. That's the number nobody believes until they see it. And by year 30, something else has happened that's harder to quantify than the balance. You have 30 years of evidence that you can do something consistently, that you can make a decision and honor it across market corrections, life changes, income disruptions, and every other force that typically erodes financial commitments. That evidence is worth more than the account balance in terms of what it predicts for everything that comes next. The $100 you invest this month will not change your life this month. It will change the person making the decision next month. And the month after that. In 30 years from now, that person will have built something the person on the couch tonight cannot quite picture yet. Subscribe for a new video every week. Drop in the comments, what's the number that surprised you most today? I read everything.